Next performer is a Canadian beauty, as I promised her that say. She is one of our favorites, a longtime white boy comedy contributor. You may have seen her on the Pauly Shore show, Minding the Store. A lot of S's there. Please welcome the lovely Maria Warman.
See? Normally there's only one or two female comics. Let's say yay to female comedy. So my name is Maria, and I had quite the career change. I used to teach high school. J'ai enseigné français pour 5 ans. I taught French for 5 years in high school, and now I sell drugs. Yeah! Right? Oui, ça va, oui. I taught high school for 5 years, but now I work for a pharmaceutical company. But there are some perks to the job, and I get a company car. And it's not fancy, it's a Taurus, or a Taurus, or a Taurus-80s, if you want to go fancy. Or a clitoris, if you want to get really smart. A male rep told me that once. Get it out of my head. But I don't need to drive a fancy car because I drove old cars for so long. I'm just excited that there's not a check engine light on there because I always drove old cars. And I don't need a fancy car, but I do love the fancy navigation systems. Oh, does anyone here have them? Oh, honey, they're so great. And I do want that in the future. I drove my sister's Mercedes once, and I got in the car, and I was so nervous because that was such a nice car. And I had to borrow it, and so I get in there, and the woman, navigation woman is so great. She's like, yeah, hello. I'm like, okay. And so she's like, yeah, you put your address in there, it'll be great, yeah. I'm like, okay. Right? And she's like, it's a lovely address, we'll have a great time. I'm like, okay. So I'm driving, she's like, yeah, you need to make a right. I'm like, oh. And even if you mess up, she's totally with you. She's like, okay, you need to make a left. And then you need to make another left. You really need to go right around. And I'm like, oh, really? I get all British on it. I'm like, oh, really? Did I? I'm so sorry that. I had no idea. Right? She's like, oh, no, Maria, you see that shop over there? We would have never seen that shop if you hadn't gone too fast. So you look great, you're on time, just turn right around, you're great, right? And my car doesn't talk, but if it did, the tortoise would be like, hi, you idiot, you missed your turn, you need to flip a bitch, okay? And you're late and I hate your shirt. Taurus. So I got a puppy this year. Does anyone else have a puppy or something really freaking cute, like a child or something? Anyone? Yeah. Okay, thank you. So my puppy is literally the cutest thing in the world, and but now I don't know if I'm allowed to have children because I get so excited when I see her. And I've realized from having this puppy and from my sisters having children that if something's small and cute, I get a little of mice and men on it. I get a little Lanny. And for those of you non-readers, remember when the late Chris Farley on Tommy Boy, when he killed his tail and he lit it on fire? Yeah. That's me, okay? So if something's really cute, like if my puppy kind of yawns or if like a baby has dimples, I'm just like, I'm gonna squash you! I'm gonna squash you big time, right? I'm like, I'm gonna put you in a sandwich, I'm gonna put you underneath the lettuce and the mayo, and I'm gonna bite you real hard. I'm gonna nibble, and then bite real hard. I'm gonna put you in my pocket, I'm gonna squash you like that. Right? Because they're so flipping cute. I think that's where the phrase too cute comes from. It's like, you can't even take it, you're just gonna air push it. Or really punch it. And so, I don't know if I'm allowed to have children now, but like, because most people think that's completely horrific. Because it's okay if you say those things with like an inner monologue, if you just kind of like keep that to yourself. You're like, oh, I'm gonna spear you, right? They're like, but as soon as you say that out loud, people are like, oh, get away from my baby. So, I figure that if I ever go to jail, like my best friend's gonna get a call from me, and it's gonna be like because some woman at Trader Joe's thought I was really going to drop kick their child, then bake him in a cake, right? I wasn't gonna really bake him in a cake. I mean, kind of a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of gonna. But not really. But yeah. They really were that cute. A little smushy. And lastly, okay, Pirates of the Caribbean, I saw it. Anyone else see it? Woo! Right? Because Johnny Depp is hot, perpetually. And Orlando Bloom, right? He's cute in it too. But ladies, question for all you hot ladies. Will he ever be as cute ever again as he was in Lord of the Rings? No! And why is that? He just did something for us as Legolas, right? He looks so hot. So for women, we spice it up. We'll go get some lingerie and look all cute, right? So guys, you guys need to invest in a freaking Legolas costume, okay? Ladies, right now, picture your man as Legolas, right? The big ears and the blonde hair. Men, picture yourselves as Legolas right now. Do it! Right? God, ovaries like jumping and hurting a little bit. Boats your boat. And speaking of floating boats, Pirates of the Caribbean. Have you, any of you been on the ride recently at Disneyland? Woo! Okay. You guys are fun. Well, okay, so they now have animatronic Johnny Depp in there, like in the ride of Pirates, and it's all cool. But true story, the freakiest thing about the Pirates ride at Disneyland is that they changed it a few years ago, because it's always, ever since the 50s, it has this cool part where like these women are being chased by men, and then there's this one woman chasing one man. But it's like this whole sequence of women being chased by men. But no joke, this is true. A group of feminists went on the ride and they're like, ooh, that's offensive. Men, they don't chase women, that's crazy, right? Because you don't get a date unless you have a bucket of KFC in your hand, right? So they changed it for the women now carry food in their hands, and they're now running through the ride. To this day, you can see it. It wasn't like that until about 6 years ago. And the funniest thing about that is the same group of feminists must have been like smoking doobies right beforehand, because there's this whole sequence right before that where women are bound and crying because they are being sold. And it says, buys a wench for a bride. It's up there to this day, right? And so, yeah. Right? And so there's this one like kind of portly woman and she's on the chopping block and they're like, do we have to buy her by the pound? And like completely offensive. They're like comparing her ass to a ship, and so like that's not offensive, right? So women, you know, being chased by men, completely offensive, and women being sold, or wenches being sold by men, not so bad. And they're like, oh, it's so cute. But Johnny Depp's in there and he's so cute, I want to smush him! That's my time. Thank you very much.
Keep it going for Maria Warman.